Hello YouTube, this is Michael Kazmierski Dunn if you guys don't know who I am. And I actually discovered something really interesting that I'd like to share with the world. So, I'm a big fan of the sound editor, audio editor, Audacity. And a lot of people like it too. And there's a plugin that actually uses, it's called Rissett Bell. But it doesn't sound too much like a bell to me. And I'm very good at harmonics, right? Like, I can spell out the tonal color or timbre of a note by its harmonics. And ever since I was little, I've always loved clocks that chime, especially clocks that have bells in them. Not tubular bells, but the tiny little rods that actually sound like real tower bells because they have the true minor third from, so I'm going to give an example here. So, you won't be able to hear all the never mind. So you take a low C, for example, C2, second octave C. But what you actually hear is the strike note, which is E4, or fourth octave E. That's because the strike note uses a few harmonics, which have the same relationship in every kind of bell. And so I've discovered that these kinds of bells that these clocks use contain the harmonics 1. In this case, if it were C1 or C2, it would be C2. 3, harmonic 3, which would be G3. Harmonic 6, which is G4 in this case. Harmonic 10, which is E5 in this case. Harmonic 15, which is which is B5, and the combination of the E5 and B5 create the strike tone because they're the second and third harmonics of an imaginary E4. And then going up from there, harmonic 21, which is close to F6 but a little bit flat. Then harmonic 28. Then 37, 45, and then 56. So I'm going to let you hear what that sounds like using the low C2. And these are all harmonics of that low note. And tell me if it sounds like a grandfather clock bell. Here we go. Yeah, so I actually created a plugin with Audacity that causes those harmonics. So instead of the weird harmonics used by the Rissett Bell, which I'll let you hear, I made it so that it uses the harmonics produced by that grandfather clocks and clocks with chime-rods produce. And unfortunately, the MIDI note to generate the frequency is the bass frequency, so it's going to be that super low note. To make the MIDI note to be the strike note, I'm gonna have to work with somebody to raise the number up really high, or actually lower it much lower, so that the strike note is actually the note that you're generating with the MIDI. So, and I also have one where you can type in the frequency rather than the MIDI pitch. And so what I've done is I've used MIDI notes to make the chime sequences. So I have the full hour of the Whittington chime, and the Whittington chime has a lot of variations. So this is the variation of the Whittington chime I've always heard. And I have the Winchester chime, and also the most popular Westminster chime. Now, I only know the first, second, and third quarters of the Westminster chime, and I think I have the Whittington first, second, and third quarters, as well as the Winchester, but I'm not exactly sure. And again, if you guys know what variation Whittington chime that is, just let me know. And actually, I've created a strike bell, and a strike actually uses 4 different bells. So going back to the piano again, B0, C0, or B0, C1, E flat 1, and E1. So it produces a really pulsating strike note of E flat, third octave E flat, and third octave G. So what I'll let you hear now is the Westminster chime doing 12 o'clock, then the Winchester chimes doing 12 o'clock, and then finally the Whittington chimes doing 12 o'clock. So here it goes. And keep in mind, this is all computer generated. This is not sampled whatsoever. This is all computer generated. So get ready for this. Hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to put a link to the plugin in the description of this YouTube video so that you Audacity users can download it and have fun with it. So again, hope you enjoy the sound, and feel free to comment away. So have a good day, everybody.